In this video, I will test 3 waterproof socks from DeckShell and 2 from Sealskins. I'm sure that, like me, many of you enjoy walking in the bush, trail walking, hiking, or maybe you do hunting in the forest. And there may be times when you come across trails where you have to walk through puddles. Times like this when you have to walk through the puddles and it's pissing down rain, gets miserable, and your shoes and your socks get wet. It's not fun, but there is a solution to stop getting wet socks. You may not stop getting wet shoes, but at least if you got dry socks that don't get wet, it helps. So this video is about showing you how not to get wet socks and wet feet. You use waterproof socks. I'm gonna demonstrate to you 2 brands, DeckShell and Sealskin. I'm gonna show you how they are waterproof, and I reckon they're worth buying. But if you go bushwalking, trail hiking, hunting in the forest. Here we go. Oh geez. Definitely, these are not waterproof shoes, so my socks are wet. Alright, I'll show you how to solve the problem and not get wet socks. I'm gonna take my shoes off now and see how wet socks are. You can see these aren't waterproof shoes, so they're soaked through. And it's not comfortable walking in wet socks. Worst of all, if you walk a long time in them, they're not good for your foot, right? Excuse the foot. See, we squeeze some water out. There you go. Some water. And if you got dry socks, you have to put dry ones on again, but obviously it's not much use if it's still raining and you end up walking through puddles or streams again. So there is a solution. That's a normal hiking socks. This, on the other hand, is the brand DeckShell and waterproof. It's a waterproof socks. The one I got is small, but they stretch a lot. And by the way, they're thermal socks as well. Then I've got another brand, Sealskins. They're also waterproof socks. So I'll demonstrate how waterproof they are for you shortly. You've seen how wet hiking socks get when they are soaked in water, when you are caught in the rain, when you walk through a puddle, when you crossing streams, and it's not a nice feeling. You probably know that feeling if you've gone hiking. The solution for me was very simple. It was to get waterproof breathable socks. In this case, I've actually bought 5 of them. They're all thermal insulated as well, because I tend to go out to the forest when it's cold. That's because it's better to hunt when it's cold. So here I have 3 socks from the company DeckShell, a Chinese company, and on this side I have 2 socks from the British company Sealskin. What I'll do is walk you through their differences, features, and then demonstrate to you how waterproof they are. It certainly makes it a lot more comfortable and pleasant to go hiking, walking, hunting when you have proper clothing like waterproof socks. Let's make a start walking through what the different waterproof socks are. On the left, DeckShell's Hypertherm Pro Mid-Calf socks. So DeckShell makes socks for 4 different heights. There's up to the ankle, there's just above the ankle, then there's mid-calf, and the tallest one being up to the knee. Now this Hypertherm Pro is waterproof and breathable. In terms of the amount of thermal insulation, it has a 4 out of 5 rating, 5 being for extreme cold. It's heavyweight and there are 3 layers. The outer layer comprises nylon, elastane, calf elastic. So elastane is really elastic fabric. The middle layer is polyol membrane, that's the waterproof membrane. And the inner layer comprises merino wool, anti-peeling acrylic and nylon, so the merino wool gives it a lot of warmth. We move to this next socks. It's DexShell's trekking mid-calf socks. It's a lightweight version, but it also has a 4 out of 5 thermal rating, and it has similar material used in the 3 layers as this Hypertherm Pro, but it is lighter. The third DexShell I have is a terrain walking mid-calf socks. It's also waterproof and breathable, but has a lower thermal rating, 3 out of 5. It's middleweight. The 3 layers are slightly different. It includes the use of polyester on the outer layer. The middle layer is the same polyol membrane, and the inner layer doesn't have merino wool. Instead it uses Coolmax FX. Coolmax FX is a good wicking material that allows you to draw away sweat and heat. The next socks made by Sealskin in Britain. It's what they call an all-weather mid-length sock. If you look at the height or length of the socks, it looks the same as DexShell's mid-calf socks. For Sealskin, they make only 3 lengths. They make the one up to the ankle, then the mid-length, and finally up to the knee. So this is mid-length. It's designed to provide comfort and blister protection. It also has 3 layers. Outer layer is the elastane as well. The middle layer is 100% hydrophilic membrane, waterproof, and the inner layer also contains merino wool. The website says that this product is handmade and hand tested. I haven't included this in DexShell because they haven't stated that, or I haven't seen that statement. The last Sealskin socks is the cold weather mid-length. So the cold weather provides greater thermal insulation compared to the all-weather. It also has 3 layers. The 3 layers are on the outer layer nylon elastane. It misses out on the polycolon. The middle layer is also 100% hydrophilic membrane, and the inner layer is the same as in the all-weather mid-length. The cold weather socks provides greater insulation. Sealskin do make another model. It's called the extreme cold weather, so you can get something even warmer than this. So those are the 5 models of socks I have. When I was buying them, I had to order them online, and I haven't used any of these types of socks before. I wasn't sure the sizes of the thermal properties nor of the waterproofing, so I thought I'd get different models so that I'd be able to use them in different circumstances, like when it's spring and it's not that hot, or when it's winter and it's very cold. But in any case, these are all thermal insulated, so really I would be using them only when it's cool to cold climate, and definitely when it's wet. The waterproofing test is very simple. Each time I'll take the socks, insert paper towel into the sock, then with my hand insert the sock into the water bowl. I will then withdraw the sock and carefully withdraw the paper towel and examine whether it's wet or dry. A simple test. So let's begin. Right, paper towel, Goes right into the bottom of the sock. And I'll use the second one for the top part of the sock. Right, I'm ready. Put my hand in there. Immerse it in a bowl of water. I think you can see it's fully immersed. I'm just trying not to spill the water because it's reached the brim. Roll it, squeeze it as if I'm stepping on it. Squeeze it, putting pressure on the sock. Alright, I think you can see the sock is wet on the outside. I just have to carefully withdraw the paper without contaminating it with the wet hand. I'll bring it over to this bowl. If you just see, that's the top piece of paper, and it certainly looks dry. Put that to one side. Now carefully extract the paper at the bottom of the sock. Open up for you to see, and it is fully dry. So this sock is the DeckShell waterproof terrain walking mid-calf sock. So that's passed the test. I just got to be careful not to get my hands wet. The next sock will be the DeckShell waterproof trekking mid-calf socks. So here it is. Same thing. I will apply the paper, which is dry, into the sock. I've pushed it right to the base of the sock, as you can see from my hand. I will put the second piece into the top part of the sock. Right, so the sock now has two pieces of paper towel. Here we go. Roll it in the water bowl. Squeeze it as if my foot's stepping on the paper. As if my foot stepped in the shoe, applying pressure. I just don't want to spill it, that's all. I'm just being careful not to spill it. Roll it, try and get the top part of the sock wet. There you go, that's wet. Alright, I think that's enough. Now carefully withdraw it. I'm just gonna roll it out and pull the paper out. There you go, the first piece, which is the top. And you can see, dry as a bone. Put it aside. Next piece. dry as a bone as well. Right, so the DeckShell waterproof trekking socks work. The last DeckShell sock is the Hypertherm Pro. This is a mid-calf sock as well. It's nice, they have labels on them. Tells you the size. Right, let's get another piece of paper, insert it into the base of the sock. You can see I've pushed my hand right to the base, the paper is there. Get another piece, put it to the top half of the sock. I've got paper here and here. Right, with my hand in there, I'll submerge into the water. You can see it's submerged, it's wet on the outside. Try and get the top part of the sock wet. That's wet up to there. I've got it wet up to there. Squeeze on it as if my foot's stepping on the sock. I think that's enough. Take it out. Examine the paper again. Alright, this is the paper at the top. I hope you can hear the paper crackling. So it's dry. It's dry as a bone. Next piece at the bottom. Can you hear the paper? It's dry. There you go, no marks. Completely dry. So that's the 3 DeckShell socks. We now come to the sealskin socks. This is the sealskin all-weather mid-length socks. By the way, my size is small, but it stretches significantly. Just make sure you use the size guide if you're going to order them to pick the right size for yourself, but they stretch significantly. And I'd rather a tight sock than one that is loose. Okay, so let's begin. Right, my hand's in the base. I'll pull my hand out. I'll put the second piece on the top half of the sock. Right, so I'll paper here and there. Again, submerge the sock in water. Apply pressure as if my foot's stepping on it. Roll it. Try and get the top half wet. Now obviously, if you submerge your foot in water that's above the top line of the sock, water will probably get in there. But the logic is, if you submerge less than the height of the sock, it should protect you and be waterproof. Right, I think you can see it's very wet. Let me extract the paper again. I'll pull out the 2 pieces. That's piece 1, dry as a bone. And that's piece 2. It's a little bit wet. I'm gonna have a look inside. I think what happened is I actually got the water above the top line and it got in there. Yeah, that's what happened. I can feel the top line wet. When I showed you, I accidentally got it past the top line. So I think this test is not conclusive. Never mind, we still have another sealskin socks. This is the last of my sealskin socks. That's a cold weather mid-length socks. So this one is warmer than the preceding sealskin socks I have. So let's put some paper in there, and I'll try this time not to get the water past the top line. Put that into the top half of the sock. Okay, we're good to go. Get my hand in there, and as I said, I'll try not to get the water line above the top. I wanted a clear glass so you could see rather than a pail. Alright, submersion time. Roll it, squeeze it as if my foot's stepping on the sock. Alright, this time I didn't get it past. I should pull the sock up earlier on the first sealskin sock. But you can see it's dripping wet. Alright, let's check out the paper towel. Alright, that's the first piece. Dry as a bone. Go. That's good. This is dry as a bone again. I hope you found this waterproofing test of the sealskin and deck shell socks useful. So the next time you want to go out running, hiking, hunting, bushwalking, get one of these waterproofing socks and put them on, because it will just make your experience that much more comfortable. It's just horrible walking around with water-soaked socks. I will put in my video description information about the products and where you can buy them. If you enjoyed this video, do hit like and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you.